Welcome back everybody to another loser bracket or lower bracket game for the Prime Major Tournament. It is Mineski versus 5EVA, the very last best of one we're gonna have for this tournament. If you win this one though, you are going for into the loser bracket final, where you will be facing the loser of the Prime versus Signature, which will be played straight after this game here. But should be a pretty exciting one. Mineski last game, they mowed down Arcanistry, there's no other way to put it, I think, completely outplayed them, just 27-28 minute victory, something along those lines I believe it was. But this is a new best of one. 5EVA, definitely a strong team to go up against, and we are HeflaTV. I am Coucher. I'm going to be joined once again by Mike Loris for this best of one. Do we get to see a Lina for 5EVA this game?
It's certainly a possibility. As you said, they played it in the last game that they just got finished with, and they won, so clearly something was working on there. But if they do pick up Alina, it's going to be relatively late. First of all, you could get the hero relatively late. Second of all, it is kind of an awkward hero sometimes because she is very hit or miss. Like, having the nuking power is great, but she's also very easy to kill. So I will personally hold out for it. I love seeing the hero nowadays, and I'm hoping for it right now. But it really just depends on what Mineski grab for their own lanes.
Looking at the bans so far, Storm Spirit is maybe somewhat of a standout as a ban. Definitely not too uncommon, maybe just so in the first phase. I'm not too sure how much Mineski has been playing the Storm Spirit though, because I can't recall them taking it up in this tournament. Maybe they have. I've seen a couple of Storm Spirit games, but probably not by Mineski. Maybe. It's hard to say when there's just so many games, but Mineski, they themselves ban out the Batrider. That is definitely a hero that usually they themselves would like to draft for them. Secondary ban though, just so many heroes to even remove, like Axe, Beastmaster, even a Lion sometimes. What would you ban out? I mean, what would be the scariest hero to go up against?
I personally think that Axe is the hero that you have to ban out, or it has to be banned every single game, as the team that grabs it is most of the time just going to run away with the game. He just does so much damage, and having an initiator that does a lot of damage is not something you want to go up against. So they're going to agree with me for now. Axe is going to hit the bin. The Storm Spirit ban is a little bit peculiar. It is definitely getting a lot more popular nowadays, but it's a hero that you can very easily deal with, and can waste no time.
Ugh. Last game we saw a Naga Siren, not too much of anything. Well, he did set up a couple of black holes with the Song of the Siren, but those black holes got cancelled almost immediately anyway. Of course, the one thing I saw first departure when they still had Miracle in their lineup too is they start with the Naga Siren with their draft, but they put it into a support role. Of course, the enemy team, knowing that it's Miracle, they're expecting Miracle to play the Naga Siren, but they kind of just switch things up. Maybe 5EVA are aiming for something similar, or maybe they're like, this is a best of one. We've already come pretty far in this tournament, so it would be a shame to fall out now, so we're gonna go with our absolute strongest possibility. Maybe that's what they're thinking, not too sure, but even if it's Miracle, I can't be too happy about seeing Naga Siren.
Yeah, it is. It tends to be a little bit more of a boring hero to watch, and it is a hero that is pretty easily countered. If you shut her down in the early stages, as we saw in the last game, Mineski just got done cleaning house up against a Naga Siren, so they're going to probably keep their picks a little bit similar. Grabbing Earthshaker right here was the opening in the last game, and it wouldn't be too bad here, but already just first picking a Lion up against a Naga Siren, you have two ways of instantly killing off her illusions, and you have a hero who can very easily rotate onto the Naga Siren early on and make her life a little bit difficult. So though it is very nice to have a hero that you're comfortable with, it's at the cost of the hero just not being well positioned in the draft right now. So we'll see if 5EVA can try to balance that one out. Usually it does work out, and it's okay, but it gives Mineski a lot of time to prepare.
I mean, like I said, Earthshaker wouldn't be a bad pickup, but they go for the Queen of Pain instead. I suppose if you get off to a decent start and build like an Orchid for the Queen of Pain, also a nice way to deal with the Naga Siren, just jump on her, silence her up. No way to mirror image to just dodge a couple of other spells possibly. No way to Song of the Siren to just make her escape that way. So Queen of Pain can definitely work out here. Also, should she go for the Aghanim Scepter somewhere along the line, 40-second cooldown on the Sonic Wave means it's not all that hard to kill illusions all of a sudden. But 5 Eva, secondary pick, a bristleback for them. So, 2 cores straight off the bat. That of course means that Mineski are most likely going to target those supports now as the bans. IO already removed. What other support hero would you ban out if you're a Mineski here, or do you even target the support?
You would probably be inclined to get rid of those supports. There aren't many supports that work fantastically with what 5 Eva have, like CM would be good. Maybe you want to take out some of those stuns so that your Queen of Pain has a little bit of an easier time. But really, no matter what you ban out as Mineski, the enemy team will be able to get what they want no matter what. Like, if you try to target CC with a Rubik or something, then well, they'll grab someone else with crowd control. So playing around that is probably not going to be too effective. If they want to ban out a third core, get rid of some initiating power, well, I guess that kind of fits both bills, but then that would also be a reasonable way to go. But I really like the Queen of Pain pick versus this Naga Siren. The way Naga Siren works in lane is that, you know, she is melee, so she does have that weakness, but she uses her bottle to kind of make up for that. She walks up for a Riptide and then bottles up afterwards. And you can't do that when there's a Shadow Strike on you. So this is a pretty nice laning choice for Mineski. And as you said, once the Sonic Wave comes up, it's pretty easy to clear out Naga Siren illusions.
Yeah, for 5 Eva, if they're a little bit worried about that matchup, they can still send the Naga Siren safe lane to farm as well. Maybe even pick up something like a Temper Assassin for the mid lane, which isn't maybe the greatest up against Queen of Pain either, but it does synergize reasonably well with the Bristleback and the Naga they already have. Both heroes could provide additional minus armor, then the meld on top of that. It's something that they could consider possibly here, but Mineski, even though it's not in the first phase as in the last game, but Earthshaker will be the pick for them anyway. Definitely a great hero to have, just blocking people up, Echo Slam up against Naga Siren and her illusions. But 5 Eva, a Dazzle is there, so they're really going deep for this minus armor so far.
Yeah, they have 3 heroes with minus armor, and well, if you get some minus armor online, Earthshaker, they're going to crumble in just a matter of seconds. Hell, even if they didn't have the minus armor, being able to kill off the Earthshaker is very easy for the 5 Eva side. But when you do go for this particular strategy, your late game gets a lot stronger because you have so much synergy there. But the lanes might not be super strong. Naga Siren typically more on the weaker to mediocre end. Bristleback's pretty decent, but Dazzle doesn't really have as much kill potential as you would really want from your support. So 5 Eva, they might be a little bit more on the defensive than they would really like. And well, now Timbersaw pick for Mineski. They're going to have a lot of pressure early on just because they do so much damage to their skills.
I mean, Timbersaw not a bad pick at all at the moment, I think. Like you said, lots of just damage coming out purely through the skills. Once you hit level 6 on the Timbersaw, you're going to spike up in power so high. Just Chakram gives you so much advantages in the fights. But 5 Eva, it was almost an immediate Skyriff Mage pick. I think they were probably planning to go for the Skyriff Mage even without the Timbersaw being there, because Ancient Seal excellent against, well, pretty much every hero on Mineski so far, but you need some form of lockdown, and Ancient Seal can be just as good, if not better, as some stuns up against Timbersaw.
And it is also very good versus Queen of Pain. Shutting down her blink is, you know, of the utmost importance. I think this, if you're looking for effects like that, Rubik might have been a little bit better. 4-5 Eva has a little bit less pressure early on in the lane, but I mean, Skyriff Mage with all the minus armor isn't really going to be contributing much to that, and usually you want straight up disables over silences, but this is still a reasonable pick for them. As you said, good versus Timbersaw, good versus Queen of Pain as well. So 5 Eva also have a couple of options down the line. They could start to turn up the heat pretty high with this, although most of the time in this game they're going to be on the defensive, looking for one more core as a defensive hero. I don't know. Who do you think it's going to be? Maybe more minus armor, a Tidehunter or something like that to hold down the fort?
Tidehunter would fit here, I think, somewhat. Maybe damage output-wise in the later stage of the game is going to be a little bit weak, but if they just have a Naga Siren on 5 Eva side anyway, maybe they're not that worried about just lacking damage or lacking the ability to just split push and delay things out. Now that though, seeing the draw Ranger, is there like an offlaner who can easily... Well, that's nice. Center definitely fits here. Won't get slowed down with the Frost Arrows. Of course, getting another melee strength hero, not like they had too many options about that, but may not be the greatest thing in general against Timbersaw though. Just easy whirling def, reducing the strength by 15%. Just kind of easy targets, but this Stampede is gonna be like make or break for 5Eva, I think.
Yeah, they're gonna have to use that pretty well. But even if they kind of mess up their Stampede, they have that to keep them safe. They have the Dazzle to keep them safe. They have their inherent tankiness to keep them safe, and they have the Song of the Siren. So it will be very difficult for Mineski to get these kills, even though they do have so much lockdown and so much chasing potential. I'm kind of on the fence about this Jar Ranger pick, quite honestly. Like 5Eva don't really, or they didn't really have many great heroes to get in her face. No Phantom Assassin or Slark or anything like that. And in that sense, it's fine. But the synergy that they have with the Jar Ranger is really limited. It's just the Queen of Pain who's actually going to be doing right-click damage. Lion technically will get boosted as well, but that's not really too relevant. So this is a kind of weak game for the Jar Ranger. And if 5Eva gets a net on her, or if they do in fact get an early Blink Dagger on that Centaur, then this Jar Ranger is pretty darn vulnerable in this game.
We definitely didn't expect that to be the carry for them to come out either, but maybe they're going to be able to make it work. Or at least, if they feel confident enough to pick it as the last one, they must have some kind of a plan with it. They might get an easy first blood here though. Sky of Mage doesn't see Lion. There's going to be the Fisher on the wrong side, so Earthspike will follow. Blink by Bloody Massacre, yeah. One more attack. Gets first blood on the Queen of Pain. Can they also get Miracle? Naga Siren hasn't skilled up anything yet. They need more disables. Clarity is there on the Earthshaker. They might just get somebody else instead. Although Earthspike into Miracle. They need more lockdown though, and the Earthshaker was just going the other way towards the center. Body blocking by Bloody Massacre a little bit, but in the end Miracle will survive. Still so low on health. Only 2 shared tangos. He's gonna have to possibly go all the way home or have a healing self come out from somebody.
Well, he wants to get this top rune, but Mineski, they're still all here as a big group. They're going to run into the Bristleback, and they will force out the... Oh, Miracle is going to take another spike, actually. They will grab one bounty rune, and Miracle actually will die right now. Timber Chain or Fissure going to get that kill. In the meantime, Oa is dropping pretty low, but Dazzle's dropping lower faster, and he's going to be yet another casualty. The Bristleback is going to try to do what he can, but what he can do is not that much. Mineski are off to an amazing start. You dream of these starts when you're opening up your game, but... Man, that was with the Blink level 1 and Queen of Pain, so just being able to chase with a pretty mediocre chase skill from level 1, that was disastrous for 5Eva.
So, thank God that Chibix on the center Warrunner at least got himself the bounty rune bottom lane. Otherwise, if Mineski had gotten both bounty runes and free kills, that would have been, like, I think the best start I've ever seen, almost even. Maybe it's like worse when somebody tries to go for like a level 1 Roshan, they fail, they get killed, and Roshan gets snatched from them, but... I'm not too sure if I've ever seen even level 1 Roshan get snatched. Yes, I've seen the team attempting it get killed, but usually Roshan will be left at it like that as Chibix in some trouble, possibly Earthshaker, never mind. Not gonna go for it, but to fast introduce the lineups, Chibix. Never mind, Fissure does come out in the end anyway. Frost arrows to follow as well, tries to tango his way through. I thought the 1-3 will still block him, but he's gonna survive, he's just tanky enough to do so. But Chibix is on the center Warrunner, leaving Poloson playing the Sky of Mage with Miracle handling the Naga Siren mid lane as to be expected. Off lane we're gonna have Ysera playing the Bristleback and L on the Dazzle. I'm not sure if L is Lobby or not, because Lobby should still be playing for the actual first departure. On their lineup it's KS on Join Dota for example. I don't know, I really don't.
Hey, if they want to be called L, we'll call him L. On the Mineski side we got Oa playing the support line already, off to a pretty good score, 1-0-2. Shaker can be played by RR, and Jay will be the third here in the offensive tri-lane, the Drow. Bloody Massacre is going to be, well, sitting pretty in the mid lane as the Queen of Pain. Up towards top, got the Timbersaw being played by Cuckoo. Probably the worst lane for him. 0 base starting armor, even though he does have reactive. Not exactly where we want to be, but Lawson is in a little bit of trouble right now. Skywrath Mage is going to take a Hex and a Fissure. Double damage rune on the Shaker. One more hit might kill him off, but the Skywrath Mage is really, really fast. Bloody Massacre coming around from the side, actually. Has a level 2 Scream of Pain, but just can't quite get close enough. In the meantime, they do kill off the Timbersaw.
Yeah, like you said, it's just gonna be a hard lane for the Timbersaw. Of course, as he gets more levels, it's gonna get a little bit easier. And really, although you would love to have farm on the Timbersaw early on, as long as you get the reasonably timed level 6, you're still, in most cases, gonna be just fine. It's just the fact also 5Eva don't really have the best lineup to punch the Timbersaw apart from the Sky of Mage later on. Bottom lane though, Chibix will get the stun onto Jay. Drow drops extremely low. Level 1 only in the double edge though, has 2 points into that hoof stomp instead. Still might get the kill if he just gets 1 attack plus the double edge. He's trying to go for it, but not quite able to get it.
I think just the double edge was lethal there, but Jar Ranger well, it was with the same movement speed of the Centaur War Runner, so you're not going to catch up to her anytime soon. They were trying to bait the Centaur in, but the Jar Ranger is very...
One more attack, Bloody Massacre. Oof. Blinks forward, Shadow Strike, Scream of Pain probably also used. This Queen of Pain, man, 18 to 10 in last hits. Level 5.5 already, 3.5 minutes in. If she continues at this pace, this Queen of Pain might just completely overtake the game.
And that's what happens when you get 2 kills from like level 1 and then get another kill by yourself. Once you hit level 6, then your kill potential skyrockets again. Mana issues, you know, but notwithstanding, you will be able to kill off most of the heroes from 5 Eva in the blink of an eye. So Queen of Pain is exactly the hero that you don't want to be going up against Nox Siren. They're going to kill off... Oh my god, I have to watch the top lane more often. Timbersaw is going to die yet again. Again, the minus armor effects versus the Timbersaw. The fact that they're hitting hard and not fast means that they're going to very easily kill him off many times, but it's going to be the Centaur now in a little bit of trouble. RR looking for a fissure angle. Won't quite find it.
Yeah, I had tabs on the kill. It's just wasn't even worth noting because it was rather easy, just quill sprays plus attacks from the Dazzle. Nothing fancy at all. Timbersaw couldn't find the proper like angle for the Timber Chain from the time he got into trouble. It was really just short range Timber Chains, and now Miracle, he's so low, gonna lose his life. My god, this Naga Siren struggling so damn hard this early on. At least has 15 lasted, so that's something, but can't really properly farm up the jungle, or at least
top.
Not really.
Now top Queen of Pain is going to teleport there. Regen Rune is active as well. Ysera is going to get annihilated by a Sonic Wave. L has a Grave here, so he might survive. They need a Shadow Strike. The damage is still pretty high. L is going to barely get the Grave out. He can't get any turnaround damage though. Shadow Strike, is it on the Dazzle? No, it's not. Bloody Massacre is going to get silenced and warded away, though he still is alive and will be able to blink out of there just fine. I mean, the Queen of Pain is going to be the most terrifying hero for 5 Eva, and Bristleback, he, to be fair, wasn't at full HP when that started, is still going to die. Down towards bottom lane, C now, Chibix is going to take a Hex and Impale, and with level 3 Frost Arrows, there's no chance that this cow can escape, horse can escape. Centaur is going to die, and that will be a kill for Jay. Mineski, they're firing it off on all cylinders, and it's due in large part because of that start. A 3-kill advantage from level 1, it doesn't get much better than that.
As always, I mean, if you get off to a great start, there's only going to be one downside to it. Or, well, there might not be a downside if you do not die, but if this Queen of Pain, for example, should die, that's a hell of a lot of XP as well as gold Q in a way all of a sudden, especially should Bloody Massacre increase her spree even further. At the moment, it is somewhat nice that 3 of the kills he's been a part of has been assist, so it's going to lessen the blow a little bit if you do die. Of course, it's not like she's planning to die, and he's level 8 already, 6 minutes in. Whereas the counterpart, Miracle on the Naga Siren, just about to hit level 6.
And this is also pretty scary because Jar Ranger has hit the level 6 as well, which means that Bloody Massacre is going to be hitting for plus 20. Queen of Pain is a hero that does rely on her right clicks. Her and Puck, intelligence heroes, though they do need to get those right clicks in order to actually get those kills. And, you know, Queen of Pain with the Orchid incoming, with Power Treads already up, is going to be hitting very hard, very quickly. And that's problematic, just her right-click damage alone, not to mention the fact that, yeah, she has maxed out Screamer Pain and a Sonic Wave to kill you off, so she has so many ways to kill you off, and you can't really protect yourself from all of that, or at least Dazzle can only protect one person, so this Queen of Pain is packing some serious heat, and she's not overextending yet. I mean, she's not in the bottom lane looking to dive a tower or anything like that, and that's how you get killed, and that's how you lose this lead. But the Queen of Pain is just more than happy to just farm up where she can get farm, and that happens to be in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's pretty much free farm for her at the moment. Doesn't have like the perfect creep score, but that would be too insane to ask for anyway, considering how many kills she's been a part of. So still doing well, has that quarter stuff. Yeah, quarter stuff coming out now as well for extra damage, extra attack speed. Sometimes you start with the Robe of the Magi or Sage's Mask for just extra regen, but having a bottle, having free rune control at the same time as well means that you're always going to be able to refill the bottle as well, or at least you should be able to do so. At least as long as Mineski keeps on applying pressure on the other lanes. Looking at the other lanes for a little bit, Centaur only has 10 lasted so far, is closing in on level 6, so that's great. Top lane, there's a slight advantage for the Bristleback in terms of lasteds. Of course, they also got a couple of kills on the Timbers earlier, so that's nice. But that's more or less the only lane. Naga Siren though, farming up jungle, catching up. Bottom lane, Poloson, my god.
Yeah, double damage is pretty good. They're going to look for the kill on the Centaur, and now he's walled off. That is going to be a very easy kill. Death by 1,000 stings. He's going to go out swinging, but he will go down in the end. DD, Queen of Pain. Like, that was just brutal. There's nothing you can do about that. You're dead before you could act at all. And out towards top lane, Timbersaw has a chance here to kill off Ysera. But, you know, killing off Bristleback probably not going to happen. Either way, they take down a tower, they take down yet another kill. And what is going poorly for Mineski? Pretty much nothing.
Yeah, Timbersaw maybe not off to the greatest start, but I wouldn't say it's poor either really at the moment. Getting reasonable amount of last hits. Did die twice, but hasn't died for the last couple of minutes, although he might die now. Indeed, he does. Bristleback gets the kill on Timbersaw just before Queen of Pain does come in to clean things up, but Timbersaw could have just left the job for the Queen of Pain anyway with the range that the Blink has, I think. Could have just tried to Timber Chain away to safety and just escape, but even then, 1-for-1 trade, it's decent enough for Mineski. Of course, all goes into the favor of Queen of Pain, who already has the first Oblivion Staff. 2 parts done for the second one. It might be like an 11 minute Orchid, which is almost unheard of.
And that's going to be scary, but even if she didn't have all of these items, having a level 10 or, you know, very swiftly approaching level 11 Queen of Pain is maybe scarier than just the Orchid. Like, she'll be able to dish out so much damage and at the same time keep up with all your heroes because her Blink is very close to being maxed out. So this is not where you want to be as 5-Eva, and especially as a Bristleback up towards top. He does have Quills maxed out, so he's going to be doing some pretty serious damage to Timbersaw and will keep himself alive. And over towards the bottom lane, actually, 5-Eva are going to look to make some action happen. They need to get some action happening. They're going to run to the Earthshaker. That should be a very easy kill. Hoof Stomp Double Edge. That's one. Can they get Jay, who's stuck in a corner? He is doomed to fall. He's going to go out swinging, though. L is going to grave himself, so Jay can't get anything done. 5-Eva's going to turn around, tap the Jar Ranger, and that's going to be very easy 2 kills for 5-Eva. Without their Queen of Pain there, without, you know, a little bit more of a fighting chance, I mean, 2v4, not really good odds there, but they're going to get cleaned up very easily.
Even though it's nice for them to get kills, at the same time Timbersaw is farming up, Queen of Pain doing the exact same thing. So it's not that bad, plus, if you look at the tier 2, they got it pretty low with just using the Mask of Madness Throw Ranger there. Yes, not the most ideal thing, but they're still taking objectives, or at least bringing objectives lower for them to take later on. Timbersaw in the mid lane, of course, not the best lane to be in, just because actually Timber Chaining away to safety is a little bit hardened. Still has the Arcane Boots finished over, up to 1.5k gold already as well. Queen of Pain gets a tower down, last hit for herself, and that means that in 200 gold, that's gonna be Orchid.
And that is just so scary. That and the Blink Dagger coming up on Lion, which 5-Eva, I mean, it's like not like they already have things to worry about. Having an extra Blink Dagger initiator to worry about is just the cherry on the cake for Mineski and the opposite of cherries and cakes for 5-Eva. I don't think there's a metaphor for that, but we should probably come up with one of those for later. But Lion with the Blink Dagger is going to mean that 5-Eva are pretty much always going to be on the receiving end of initiations, because their Centaur doesn't even have one yet, and he's further away than the Lion by quite a large deal as well. So 5-Eva will always be initiated upon, and so far that has been the case.
Yeah, I really like that the Queen of Pain went to farm up the double stack in the jungle, but he only took literally just the amount needed for her own Orchid to be finished. Still helped out to bring the creep slow and left them to the Lion. So Lion now up to 2.1k gold almost. So if he's just gonna farm up an additional creep camp, or maybe just a lane, like 3 last hits, that's all he needs almost. 13-minute Blink, 12-minute Orchid and the Queen of Pain. If they just get more items like that, although they don't need that many more Blinks, for example, maybe for the Earthshaker, but that's a long way coming still, as there's an Invis Centaur. Well, that's nice.
Well, is it nice? He could maybe pop the Lion, but if Bloody Massacre is outside of that Hoof Stomp range, and if he spouses the Orchid, then Centaur can very easily get turned around upon, and he's in a pretty good position right now, but he needs the Skywrath Mage here for amplification. Skywrath Mage is wrapping around, but now it's just those 2 heroes behind the entirety of Mineski, and the Element of Surprise can only take you so far. They might pincer in Mineski here, and that would be pretty sweet for them, but again, they don't really have the manpower to take this fight. In the meantime, the Mineski side, they are in the dark. they don't really care because, well, first of all, they don't know about it, ignorance, bliss, and all that. But they're going to take down the tier 1 tower and then just keep going for more. Drow Ranger now with the Yasha, with maxed out precision aura, adding another plus 38 damage to her own damage, and Queen of Pains as well. This tower is taking quite a bit of damage very rapidly as well. Plus, Lion is in the sidelines waiting to initiate with that Blink Dagger. It's not supposed to be 13 minutes in and you're resorting to cutting the creep wave to, basically survive.
Oh, but Bloody Massacre, he's running towards the high ground. He's blinking forward even. Poloson does get the silence, but takes a lot of damage beforehand, and, well, Soulburn does secure the kill there. Did Queen of Pain know they are there, or did she just randomly blink and they happen to be there?
She didn't know that they were right there, but they saw the Centaur clear up the creep wave and they just put 2 and 2 together. That could have been really bad for Bloody Massacre. Holding on to a 7-kill spree and blinking blindly up into darkness, never really what you want to be doing, but hey, you only find one person, and that one person is just a Scarith Mage who can't even kill you because he doesn't have level 6. And even if he did have level 6, odds are you win the damage race there. So Bloody Massacre are going to get away with yet more cash, and we keep on talking about this Queen of Pain. We're not even mentioning the fact that Drow Ranger is also kind of just in the background farming, and she is also going to be a very potent threat, although, less explosive.
Also pushing on top of the farming that she's been doing, so although kill participation definitely a hell of a lot lower than for the Queen of Pain, it's still fine enough as mid lane. They get the Fissure, Hex is there as well, Finger of Death already used, and one more attack secures the kill for Owa's Lion, so support duo, getting kills. Of course not that hard, especially with the help of Precision Aura for that Lion. Hitting for 100 plus, not that bad at all. Arcane Boots finished on the Earthshaker and, well, Bloody Massacre. He wants to get Ysera, not an easy target to go for, but Bristleback, not that tank yet. Earthspike lands on him, doesn't get the double, but Sonic Wave spent to blow up the Dazzle, securing that there's no Shallow Grave. A few more attacks, and that's another kill secured. Oh god, at least Bristle managed to just purchase the mech before dying, but that's a small consolation.
They get the Timbersaw up towards the top lane, but I don't think Mineski are really going to care too much about that. That was extremely smooth by the Mineski side. They had a really perfectly placed Observer Ward off to the side, and 5EVA, they were counting on the Dazzle, or they counted on the Bristleback to bait someone in and for the Dazzle to be there and turn things around. But the Queen of Pain focused perfectly on the Dazzle. Everyone else was on that Bristleback, making sure that he couldn't do that much, and it was just a very easy 1-2 punch for Mineski, and, well, it's just more kills for Bloody Massacre and company. And, the problem is that Naga Siren, now holding on to her Relic, can start to increase her farm pace by quite a bit once she grabs just a little bit more gold. But Mineski, once again, they're playing so well right now, and they're playing pretty much perfectly in order to ensure that the Naga Siren, even if she does get the Radiance, isn't going to become a super late-game powerhouse.
It's true, but I find it extremely surprising. I hadn't checked out the Naga Siren's item progression for some time. Suddenly, Sacred Relic plus gonna have that Radiance in 100 gold. It's 16, well, he's gonna get it like 17 minutes in. But that's extremely fast considering how the game has gone for their team in general. Cuckoo now silenced up, Mystic Flared as well with the help of the Hoof Stomp. So another kill onto the Timbersaw. As long as they keep the Timbersaw down, it's still within their grasp, I suppose. Especially with the Naxxramas now having the Radiance. So Mineski, once they find out about the Radiance, they're going to crank up the pressure a little bit. Maybe they're going to wait for the BKB and Queen of Pain before that, just to make sure the Queen of Pain doesn't randomly die and feed away the spree, because Ancient Seal, the scariest thing for her, suddenly with the BKB, not that scary at all.
Up towards top, Smoke is going to burst, but they don't really care, so yeah, the Naga Siren is, step 1 is complete. You get the Radiance, you will be able to farm up a little bit faster, but Miracle still needs to actually get that time to farm, and we'll see if Mineski are able to give that to the Naga Siren. Miracle, as you said, you were surprised by the rate at which Naga Siren was farming. It was mostly his allies to take all those deaths, and Naga Siren was pretty much AWOL for all those fights, and was able to survive because of it. If she's able to keep that up for a couple more seconds, and in the meantime getting kills on Jay down towards bottom, Blink Dagger, Hoof Stomp, Mystic Flare, very easily set up kill on a very soft hero, then 5EVA, they just have to stall out right now, and that's pretty much what they're doing by getting every single one of these pickoffs.
And if they manage to do so for long enough, they have a pretty solid chance to just get back into this game, but like you said, that's like the biggest if for them. Don't think Mineski is going to give them to that. Do they still have the Aegis as well? Yes, they do on the Queen of Pain for another, well, 3 minutes, 20 seconds or so. So a long enough time for the Drow Ranger to Respawn. Maybe they're gonna go straight as she respawns just to get the precision aura. Maybe they're gonna wait for her to join the fight. Does have his own BKB finished on the throw as well. So they suddenly have double BKBs, I think. Or Bloody Massacre might still be going for hers. Nope, has it finished as well, just needs it to be delivered now. So with those double BKBs, with the Aegis, that's like one of the best timings to probably go and push.
And they're pretty much going to take that timing as perfectly as you can get by going straight for this tier 2 tower up towards top lane after having that Drow Ranger respawn. Miracle's going to do his best, sending out his illusions everywhere, pushing out the mid lane, trying to cut the creep wave over towards mid, and it is going to stall out Mineski for a little bit, but again, those illusions don't survive when they're mana drained. They instantly pop, so line with the Blink Dagger can make sure that any single illusion is not going to be able to cut the creep wave decently. So Mineski, they do get their push going, and there's no chance that 5 can defend this. Will Mineski go for more? Because they know that they're on a timer right now. I think they might want to poke up the high ground.
I think they can quite easily do so as well. Bloody Massacre even has a double damage if they want to make the push a little bit faster, and now with the glyph being on cooldown, it's suddenly a little bit just more reliable, easier for you to push in, although the creeper has been destroyed. Now the negative armor from that weave also comes out, so they're going to back off for now. 5 they are creating the space, although Miracle, he's running all the way back home, of course, just has to replenish mana, that's like one of the reasons. Also just has enough gold for Boots of Travels now. But as the weave ends, Mineski, they're going to come back in, double damage, duration already halfway. Oh god, they get the kill. Earthshaker gets jumped, nice high ground vision by or for themselves now with the new ward. So they get one kill, and looks like that's going to be enough to make Mineski back off for now.
Yeah, they only take a couple of pot shots at that tower, so 5 they hold their high ground, and that's really what they have to do right now. This is, you know, going to be, I think, a pretty typical Naga Siren game, as they usually get to this point because your Naga Siren is not really doing anything in the game except for farming. You will be staring down a pretty reasonable gold deficit by the time she actually grabs her mech. The question is, can you actually recover from this, or will you just die shortly after? And that's really where the Naga Siren effect comes into play. And Miracle is a good Naga Siren, so odds are in his favor. Unless he's going to run to Cuckoo, he's going to pop the song just to keep himself safe. However, Bloody Massacre is going to pop the BKB. Okay, that didn't do anything, like actually did nothing. So a nice little win for 5 although they don't really know it.
A little bit unfortunate to say the least for Mineski there. Maybe 5 not knowing is still gonna be enough, but they're just creating the space. Naga, creep skipping, farming up enemy jungle. They're going to claim a tier 1 top lane. So suddenly Mineski, they are snowballing as hard. If you look at the net worth, there's only a 1k difference between the between Bloody Massacre as well as Naga Siren, and considering that Queen of Pain is 8, 0 and 4, even 120 last, it's not all that bad. Of course, compared that to Naga Siren with 187, it's a hell of a lot more all of a sudden. But Aegis is also reclaimed, and suddenly your BKB is still on cooldown for 30 seconds, so you don't want to go over aggressive, you don't want to feed away your streak. It's like another couple of minutes at least that 5 just bought themselves.
Yeah, Mineski, they weren't able to push up the high ground with Aegis. They're definitely not going to try to go up the high ground without Aegis. That just doesn't make any sense. So it's going to be, at the very least, another Roshan respawn before Mineski actually make a serious play. And then it's 5 going to be relying a little bit on luck. If it's a short respawn timer, then it sucks to be them. They're probably going to have to deal with the push incoming soon. If it's a longer one, like if it's max length, then 5 are going to be so happy just to sit back and chill and do, you know, farming stuff with their Naga Siren until the push inevitably comes from Mineski. So at this point, it's a little bit up to luck as to whether or not Mineski are going to be able to make a play within the upcoming moments. But 5 they're positioned up towards top to make yet another pickoff happen. And if they get shut down this Drow Ranger one more time, then, oh man, it's going to be really bad for Mineski. They're going to be slowed down by so much, and then that just means more farming space for Miracle.
The sad thing is that Mineski, they're getting slowed down, like literally, because Year B started, and for the Philippines ISP, that means that the entire game will start lagging pretty much. It's kind of a routing issue, I think, for the Southeast Asians. Of course, 5 being from Singapore, most of them should be at least. Maybe it's a little bit better for them, but we had it with Arcanis yesterday. Year Beast meant that, at least they said that their team they suddenly saw heroes appearing randomly next to them because the lag was so bad. They didn't see projectiles or anything. Like, yeah, year beast.
I hope they mean heroes in the game, not just like, oh my god, it's a random freaking
Oh, yeah,
Tidehunter.
yeah. The enemy hero just appearing next to them all of a sudden. That would be pretty sick. Oh, I saw a ghost of that hero and that hero. Oh god, but yeah, year beast screws over the Philippine teams bad. I mean, even the spectators or we as spectators could see the lag happening every now and then, so it was that bad.
Wow, that is actually sounds pretty cool until you realize that it's screwing up the game. So hopefully it's not going to be an issue, because that is actually the worst reason to have any sort of pauses. But Jay up towards top is in a little bit of trouble. He doesn't know that he's in trouble right now, but if he loops back around to the front of his tower, a very easy blink hoof stomp into seal into Mystic Flare is awaiting him, and he wants to go for this catapult. Oh, it's free farm. No, it's not free farm. Jay is going to get a little bit of help from his friendly Earthshaker. Pop the BKB, will survive at 90 HP because Double Edge was not used. Now here comes the Timber Saw. All of a sudden, Chibix is in quite a bit of trouble. He does not have any way to get out of here. He's going to get his TP canceled by an Echo Slam instead of an Enchant Totem because, okay. But that was unfortunate that Centaur didn't use his Double Edge there. The Shaker really coming through for his Drow.
Maybe the Earthshaker had lag at the moment. Maybe that's why he was like, screw it, I'm going to just pop the Echo Slam to make sure he gets stunned. Not entirely sure, but it's just the Earthshaker for a second it was like, yes, nice, Fisher stopping the Double Edge from coming out. Then for a second he body blocked his own draw, so I was like, oh no, you saved and killed your teammate at the same time. But 5 they were already backing off by that point, so it didn't stick around for like one extra attack from both the Skyref and Centaur would have still been the kill, especially if the Mask of Madness activated. But of course doesn't really matter since the throw did survive. Still though, 10-second BKB down for both the Drow now as well as the Queen of Pain. But as long as you survive for a BKB charge, definitely worth it. Queen of Pain also working towards an Aghanims now. Orchid, Aghanims possibly rather early, level 16 as well. Although with this amount of kills, usually it would even hit possibly earlier level 16.
Yeah, you would expect a little bit earlier, but it's still, I mean, pretty darn good for right now. The Aghanims pickup is pretty darn good up against the Naga Siren. Again, you need consistency for Queen of Pain. You are not able to instantly burst down those illusions any longer, but if you have a Sonic Wave that's spammable, then Naga Siren's counter pushing, split pushing is probably not going to lead to many places. So it's a good item to pick up for the Queen of Pain, but I mean, 5 even though they don't get the kill on the Drow Ranger, they get a little bit more space for Miracle to farm up. He has his travels, he has the Yasha, and I'm sure Mantis Style is going to be consideration for his next item pickup. This Naga Siren is slowly but surely getting there, and Bristleback is following up maybe a little bit slower, but he's also pretty darn tanky. So Mineski, again, they are pretty much at the mercy of this random Roshan timer as to whether or not they can afford to make a push within the upcoming minutes of this game.
Even with that Aegis, it's not that easy going up against the Song of the Siren. At the very least, there's no black hole waiting after the song ends, or well, sometimes or most times you use the black hole and then cancel the Song of the Siren just to make sure it's perfect. But it's not even that easy to go for Roche, I suppose, at the moment, with the Song of the Siren being there. Of course, Miracle, if he wants to go for the play of stealing the Aegis with the Song of the Siren, if it works out, yes, it's massive, it's beautiful. If it doesn't though, you may just straight out die, so it's also a risky thing to do. And Fire, other than the Song of the Siren, they don't have like the greatest team fight.
Yeah, it's pretty much just single target pickoffs until they get to a Naga Siren state where she could just win the game by herself. So picking a team fight up against Mineski, relying on that Song of the Siren, going up against 2 BKBs in the process, incredibly risky, but it's really like the Aegis isn't going to win Mineski the game, it's going to give them a chance to win the game, because they're not going to make a push. I actually don't see them making a push until they actually have that safety, because they tried it up on the top lane before and obviously it didn't work. So there's no sense in going for it again if you're just not going to make it work out again. So Mineski, they either need like bigger items, and those items probably not going to be coming out. Sanjin Yasha is not that item. Bloodstone on Timbersaw, not that item, nor is Aghanim Scepter. So those items aren't going to let them breach high ground. They need like Assault Cuirass or Hearts or something like that if they're going to go for it through regularly bought items.
It's either just get more items or try to get the pick-off. The vision for getting pick-offs is pretty fine for them. They have quite a couple of wards on the enemy side of the map. Especially considering that 5 Eva themselves, they are just completely blind. All the vision they get is just purely from their own heroes or from their creep waves, that's it. They don't have a single ward on the map. Well, yeah, they have this one ward, never mind, but it's just extremely defensive and it's not nearly enough, or it shouldn't be nearly enough. Mineski though, depending on their own just movement, maybe not gonna matter as Lion. This game, he has picked up an Ogre Club first before a point booster, so is this a BKB game for even a Lion?
It is definitely better than the Aghanim Scepter, I think. Like, first of all, you're up against a lot of magical damage, and BKB is pretty good against that. The Centaur, War Runner, and Scarith Mage combo especially, but being able to keep up in the fight through a Naga Siren song is probably what he wants more so than anything else. Because Naga Siren, down the line, typically does rely on the, travel, sing into teleport away in order to keep herself safe. And that obviously isn't a possibility when you're going to get hexed by a BKB Lion.
Kind of have to agree with you there. Definitely, if there's a BKB game for Lion, this probably will be it. It's always nice to see an Aghanim Scepter, but BKB definitely a more solid choice if you actually want to secure a win this game for Mineski. Viewer pleasure should come second if you're a team, probably. At least if you're a team whose goal is to win tournaments and just win games in general. But
hey, you got to do both to build up a fan base, man. You got to showboat a little bit to make the people happy, and then win your games. That's the best.
So Mineski, they got to throw a little bit now to make it more exciting, right?
That's not how you make. That's not how you get bans. Throwing is the worst way to do it.
But you don't throw the entire game. You just throw a little bit. You like throw a quarter of the entirety.
I don't know. I guess we have to poll the chat as to their thoughts on that.
Well, you probably will be pretty mad. But how can you showboat otherwise? Is it just like massively flashy plays?
I mean, the Queen of Pain play, I think, is like, that's one way of doing it, like just what she's been doing, but probably item pickoffs, like item pickups like Force Staff plays rather. Of course, there's Divine Rapier, but that kind of feels like cheating. But I don't know, man. Like 5 Necro Book, that's how you get bans.
That's true enough, but then again, if you lose the game, then just getting 5 Necro Books is considered as throwing in itself.
It's 5 Necro Books. There's no way that will lose the game. Come on.
I'm not too sure if I've ever seen 5 Necro Books. I'm pretty sure I've seen at least 3, but that may be the limit.
Yeah.
At least
always
Necro
that,
level 3s.
Yeah, there's always that one support who's just way too poor to get a Necro Book. And then they end the game.
If you have that many Necro Books,
like
the game is going to end too fast for the support to get it. Yeah.
So they always have like a Belt of Giant Strength and nothing else because they've been buying Vision.
Goddamn Vision. Supports, don't buy Vision, buy Necro Books instead.
Hey, you don't need Vision if you could just send out your Necro units and then have them act as mobile wards. It's pretty much just like an Observe Ward, except they move. That sounds better.
How long do the Year Beast events usually last for?
I don't think it's like the event itself. It's that everyone wants to log on right now and actually get into one. So
the Year Beast event starts. You're gonna have to just sign up for it beforehand, so it starts. And after that, it's more or less normal game. Probably ends faster than like the average pop game, I think. But it lasts from the moment it starts, which might have been 21 minutes ago. Not entirely sure if it started at half past or not.
I thought the Year Beast was. I actually have no idea when the Year Beast started.
I know that they were asking for like maybe not a reschedule, but postpone the start of the game a little bit, just to wait until the Year Beast is over. They were trying to preemptively just stop this lag from happening in game. Of course, that would mean that we would be even farther behind in the schedule, because at least now we got the draft plus 22 minutes of game time, so that's something. But they said it's starting in half an hour. It was just a second.
When was that?
It's they said it. Yeah, they said it's about 30 minutes from now. They said it when it was 8 CET. So Yerbis should have been going on for about 20 minutes now.
So yeah, I wish I could just see it, but I can't see that without disconnecting from the game. But it would probably be dying down soon. I actually have no idea how long they last. They last for like an hour, right? Or I have no idea.
I don't know. I just know there's a time you can sign up for it. You have to play it.
I played it once because I happened to be online while I was doing it, and I'm like, this is dumb. I'm not gonna do it
I
ever
played
again.
it once as well. Huge dislike towards it.
I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah,
All I
that's
know
maybe
is
one of the reasons, but
I thought like I still don't know actually, since I've only played one game. I don't know if you like get your points replenished, so I just didn't buy anything onto the Year Beast. I just ended the game without pressing any of the upgrade buttons because I didn't want to lose any of my points for later. And then I'm like, no, this is stupid. I don't even know how it works, but I don't even care.
so we are still paused. They're not even attempting. I guess they're just monitoring their ping, and if it gets better, they're like gonna be okay. It's fine now. I think the Year Beast still should last for about 30, maximum 40 minutes. I don't think it's
I'm gonna
gonna
ask
take
the
any
chat,
longer.
how long does Year Beast last? Because they probably know a lot more than I do. We'll crowdsource this answer. And
Oh, there's the
25
answer.
minutes.
Ronzi or 9.
There's an answer. We don't know if it's the correct answer.
Well, with Twitch chat, we can never know that.
Twitch chat, they never lie. Twitch
So
chat,
that answer is also the answer if they never lie. Boom!
Yeah, okay. I'll say it's 25 minutes.
And Miracle is a god. Twitch chat never lies.
But what kind of event? Oh, it started at 2:30, so it's been. What kind of event lasts for 25 minutes? That's so weird.
I mean,
Like,
it is mostly like a
30.
normal pop game, but thanks to the Year Beast, it may be a little bit faster. At least, I mean, on average, it should be faster. So, which means that if like most people have ended their games by now already, it just means that the server like population, this strain on the server should lessen faster. I don't know.
Something technical, internet wires, tubes with internet data in it, or something, stuff like that. I have no idea. It's getting late here, man.
What
This is
time
not
is it
fun.
for you anyway?
It's pushing 3 a.m.
Oh man, it's always the last game which you're supposed to
Yep.
cast is taking hours and hours. And...
Always.
Oh god. I had somewhat higher hopes for this just because it was an online event rather than a LAN event. I was like, maybe there's going to be less delays, but little did I take into account that this is Southeast Asia after all.
Yeah, but to be fair, anyone having to deal with Valve side issues that are supposed to be purely for fun, Year Beast, it's like you can only blame Southeast Asia for so long, although that definitely does help.
I mean, it's now they're just disguising the classic Philippines internet problems by saying it's Year Beast.
Yeah, it's really just a Skype issue the entire time. The classic excuse.
Yeah, it's at least they have something to like hide behind now. I don't know. I just wish this game started.
We're not saying
already.
that they're liars, guys. We're not saying that.
They're just twisting the truth. It's not lying. It's not lying. It's fine. To be honest, it's like if you're so-called full of shit, is it lying? I mean, sometimes you're just taking the piss and doing it for fun.
What are
Can
you
it be
talking
considered lying?
about, dude? I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
I mean, if you're trolling somebody but it's not the truth that you're saying. Is it? I wouldn't consider that lying if you're trolling.
Oh, you mean like it's not lying with malicious intent?
Well, yeah, pretty much like that. So it's probably the correct term for it would still be lying, but I don't consider it as a lie if you're just trolling.
Yeah, that's fair enough. In Twitch chat, they're known to be, you know, pretty nice trolls with the dankest of memes.
So if we take it like that, if you had said no now, then you would have contradicted yourself. But if
Stop
trolling,
it. No,
if
it's just
trolling is not
tough.
lying, then Twitch chat never lies indeed.
Twitch chat, it's like Schrodinger's cat, see? Like whenever they say something, they're both lying and telling the truth at the same time, every time.
So
Yeah.
in trolling, there has to be
Take
a little bit
that.
of truth in it, a speck of truth.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's late. I'm just saying things to kill time.
Man,
and distract.
I can't even excuse it by being early here anymore because it's 10 a.m. by now. I can say I had to wake up early, waking at 5 a.m. Haven't done that
That's
for
not
ages.
fun. It's definitely not fun.
Well, then again, I did go to sleep at like 10, so... God, that was also an experience. Okay, so Chibix is going to go take a bath. They're going to relax, sit back.
Oh god. Ugh.
It's time to
This is
it's
fun.
time to start banging my head against the table, I think.
Yeah.
Fun times, fun times.
Hmm.
So how
Okay.
cold is it in America?
How cold?
How cold is it there for you? Yeah.
Freaking freezing. It's been warmer the past couple of days, but it's been consistently very cold. There's like ice all over the place.
Man, that blows. For us, it's almost like autumn. I'm gonna actually check the temperature. I think it's around 0 Celsius. Oh,
Mm.
it's 2 degrees Celsius. We're not even in the minuses. Man,
Oh, that's warm, man. That's so warm.
indeed it is. It just saves me a lot of trouble because if it's like constantly in the minuses, I'm gonna have to light up the fireplace every single day. But now I can slack off a bit.
It's also convenient for it to be hovering around 0. That's the only real benchmark I have for Fahrenheit to Celsius. Because, you know, stupid Americans don't use the Celsius system.
Or is everybody else stupid?
There's
probably the
also
Americans.
maybe that. Yeah, probably. Fahrenheit makes no sense whatsoever.
I mean,
Like,
in general,
actually, who
there
cares
are like
about-
so many things that should be unified throughout the entire world. It's like temperature, the side of the road you have to drive on.
Oh yeah,
But
that's
that's different only for England and Australia, I think, right?
I think in some Asian countries they do it in the other way, but that's probably just because
Does a third way exist anywhere?
how could there be a third way? You would either drive in the left or the right.
You drive in the middle.
Both sides just drive in the middle.
I
I guess it could technically work if you have like one lane on the left that's going like north, and then another one in the middle that's going south, and then a third one that's also going north. So it's like 2 going one way and 1 going through the middle. I guess that would technically be a third way of doing it.
Sounds like it would be extremely idiotic to do.
It'll be so busy. How would you get into the middle? You wouldn't be able to.
So the third way is just without any regulations for
Oh
driving.
yeah,
or
it's like
something.
how people drive in like China and India, where things are just pretty much just a free for all.
I think there have been like experiments that in quite a bit, like when you remove like the traffic lights, for example, in some places, suddenly everything goes a hell of a lot smoother, for example. I do believe there was also a village in Germany that completely removed all traffic signs and no accidents, no nothing, everything was
Yeah, but
smooth as hell.
that's Germany. That doesn't count. Like if you did that shit in like, well, what would if you did that shit in the Philippines, people would die. Like tons of people would die.
I can't count out the possibility that they don't die anyway from traffic accidents.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, people are freaking crazy. Drivers in Asia are freaking crazy, guys. I'm gonna say it right now. After having only been to a couple of Asian countries, I'm gonna say it, and it's most likely gonna be true.
Well, I have been in exactly 0 Asian countries, so I'm gonna have to take your word for it.
Yeah, you should, because they're freaking crazy.
And it sounds
You
like
should
bad
also go to
times.
Asia and see how crazy they are. Like
I
I
don't
have,
dare go to Asia anymore. I don't want to die to just some guy driving over me.
like I don't really enjoy driving that much, but there is no way in hell you will find me in a car in an Asian country. I would just be too terrified to go anywhere ever.
Yeah, you have to like learn driving in the same kind of environment to be able to drive there.
Yeah, you must become the car, see the car, be the car, and then hopefully everyone else is
Wax
not on their
left,
cell phones.
wax right. You can feel
Yeah.
it.
And that's actually kind of relevant because that's what Daniel was doing when he was waxing the car. He wasn't
Yeah,
sanding
he
the floor,
was
so
he was waxing the cars. He was like
painting the fence,
painting
sanding
the
the
fence.
floor.
Yeah.
I've seen The Karate Kid. Great movie.
Have you seen the like remake of it? Because I haven't.
With what's his face? With Jackie Chan
Jackie Chan,
and
yeah.
the little. No, I have not.
I haven't either. I wonder if it's any good.
I heard it was exceedingly mediocre, and that's not good enough for.
To
It
be honest,
tarnishes.
it being
tarnishes the game.
mediocre is way more than I expected it to be. So that's
Okay,
good.
maybe like it was bad until they had Jackie Chan in it, and then it became mediocre because Jackie Chan.
He makes everything awesome. Although
Yeah.
it's like usual Jackie Chan movies is like he does his own stunts. There's like lots of weird action scenes.
Hmm.
Like, but how do you do that when you're just like
A teacher.
Mr. Miyagi?
Yeah, you can't really do that. There are no stunts to be done.
Unless he really like actually practices fighting with the Karate Kid. I
That'll
don't know.
just mean that'll just make the whole movie stupid. It's just not. No, that's not how it's supposed to be done.
Why aren't they even trying? Why aren't they even trying?
To unpause or to make good movies?
Unpause, I think, for now. Good movies come later. Unpause first.
Hey, we could watch movies while we're doing this. If only that would be not frowned upon by Twitch.
Yeah, that would be a lot better than us just talking about them. I watched the movie, I think it was on Monday. Nightcrawler. Have you heard of it?
I have heard. Oh, isn't that the new one with like that reporter dude?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just saw like ads for it. I don't actually know too much about it. Was it any good?
It was weird, but I really liked the ending of it, and it was like strangely good. You most of the movie you were like, okay, shit's gonna go down, shit's gonna go down. It was like somewhat tense, but not too intense or anything like that, and it was weird, but it was good.
Man, I don't even know what was the last movie I saw, especially like in theaters. I don't even remember. Probably was Guardians, which was jokey. There's actually a TV right next to me. I'm assuming you can't hear any of that, but it has Office Space playing.
Yeah,
It's pretty
we can't hear it at all.
good. Although it is definitely a movie that's worth listening to.
Oh god, come on guys. It's been too long. It's been exactly too long. Okay, they're trying. Yes!
I'm enjoying watching the chat though talk about things that we were just talking about before the delay. Yeah, it's just pretty cool.
A 5-minute delay is way too long, to be honest.
It's way too much, but people are like so scared about ghosts now that you can't really blame them. Although, yeah, delay is the only real way to get around it.
Not with such long pauses. You can ghost anything you want.
All the ward locations are revealed. Buy your sentries now, guys. This is the time.
Mineski, if they were ghosting, they got massive value right now. The one ward that was placed for 5 Eva.
Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do with the intel.
Oh, by the way, we have like a psychic on chat because Damien board He was like, watch out, they might be stream sniping. He talked about it at the same time we did.
Oh man. He bypassed the delay. How does he even?
He's a Valve employee. He's watching it from a Dota TV without delays.
Can they actually do that?
How do I know? It's probably possible, but...
Yeah, they could just like jump into the lobby kind of and insert themselves to where we are. And I realize that we've been talking about nonsense while this game has technically been going on, but I was pretty sure that this was going to happen.
Yeah, so people going to the toilet, doing stuff. Now 5 hours, they're like, okay, we're just going to disconnect, screw this, guys. So our schedule is... Well, it was broken beforehand. Now it's just... I don't even know. What's worse than broken? Pulverized?
I mean, it all just means the same thing. It all just means it's a bunch of shit.
If you like, let's say you break a bone, it can just quite easily repair itself by growing back together. But if you pulverize a bone, like the entirety of it will have to start regrowing from one point onwards.
The degree at which it's broken. If you're talking about, I mean, you could break something more severely if you like demolish it, but I don't think it like means that it ends up more broken. That just means it's broken with more force.
Yeah, but I mean, if you pulverize, doesn't your bone like end up as powder almost?
Well, I don't know. I have never had any of my bones turn into powder.
I don't know if that's even possible, but I just imagine like a really heavy object like falling on your foot, for example. Does it completely?
It would have to be like an industrial thing, like an industrial like flattener or something that would just crush you completely. Why the hell are we talking about this?
Because I don't even know. If for a second I thought like maybe it's because one team is getting completely steamrolled, but that's not even really the case anymore. Yes, Mineski are still ahead by 10k net worth, XP nearing the 10k mark as well, but this Naga Siren getting the farm has that Yasha finished 1.5k after that. So creep skipping very well possible for the Naga Siren now. Split pushing things out. I don't even know, but somehow the topic started, but I already forgot how.
I just noticed that Naga Siren's helmet just actually doesn't have eye holes. Or if they do, they're very narrow and probably not.
She sees the ground, that's all she needs. Or, well, she operates by just hearing. Although then again, the armor covers her ears. Or
does Naga Siren have ears? Does she just do like?
We don't know. She has a helmet.
Thing?
We don't know.
She just does the snake thing with her tongue. She just like tastes the air.
Is that the thing, really? Do snakes really just taste the air?
I mean, it's not actually tasting the air, but they use that to like read like infrared stuff. It's actually a thing, yeah.
How the hell does that work? And how the hell was that found out?
No freaking biologist. I don't know, but
I mean, really, how did people? It's like, their tongue is like this, and that tongue can read infrared waves. How the hell did they come to that point? It's like,
hey, you put like a mouse. You put a mouse in a box next to an empty box, and then the snake knows that there's a mouse in one box. Therefore, it has to be reading something other than visual.
Yeah, but you can know that much, but how can you ever know what it is exactly? Unless they've done human experiments, they've implemented snakes' tongues onto humans, and then humans.
Yeah, that's definitely what happened. That is definitely what happened.
That's like that was the main project during the Cold War. For both the Russians as well as the Americans, everybody knows.
Snake soldiers.
Snake soldiers. Snakes on a plane, a whole new movie with actual soldiers.
It's all about a paratroop squad that's just half snake, half human. Sounds reasonable.
Orochimaru, man. Orochimaru.
Oh man, we're not even gonna go there. We're not gonna bring up the anime discussion.
But that would give us it wouldn't give us so much to talk about because you only watch a handful of them.
Hey, but the animes I did watch were I think, good ones. I don't know.
Man, did you catch what team was it? Is it for the Prime or was it BIGE which had Suzaku? You should know where Suzaku is
Suzaku?
from.
Yeah, he's from
But you
PS.
don't pronounce it Suzaku. It's freaking retarded. It's Suzaku, man.
Well,
Or did you see Coach
wasn't
Hias
me.
in Japanese or English?
in Japanese, what kind of question is that?
I don't know. Some people watch dubbed versions. Like
The only reason
I
to
know
watch
a friend of mine watched Death Note dubbed and said it's really good. I was like, I don't believe it.
No, you should slap him, and then if
Yeah,
he still says it's good, continue slapping them until they're until they either know that they're wrong or their brain.
You're
dead.
not supposed to have an opinion. Slap. Okay, so we've started the game up
Top.
once again.
Bloody Massacre gonna run into the Scarith Mage. Easy kill. BKB is used, but there's no way the Scarith Mage is gonna get out from that. Pretty much just 2 shots at the Scream of Pain, and it's an easy kill.
Was it really Queen of Pain running into them? It felt like they were running into Queen of Pain, but
Yeah,
she
it
was just too
was-
fast with the BKB.
Yeah, they were running up high ground with no vision, so that's not what you want to do. It's not good times. Sometimes it'll work out, but other times there's a Queen of Pain with a BKB waiting for you.
So Queen of Pain with that kill, helping her out. Iron Receptor finished up now. Jay on the Throw Ranger has himself another ultimate orb. It won't be Skadi, I'm almost positive about that one. What else could the ultimate orb be though? Lincoln Sphere for this game? Is it really an item to go for? Or is it really Skadi Throw?
Manta Style and Scotty are
Oh yeah,
both
Manta
actually
Style still.
pretty good. Yeah,
How the hell could I forget about that one? Man, I was like...
because we've been sitting here for like an hour not doing anything, and it's hard to actually get back into a game that's 25 minutes in after having done nothing. But Manta Style is a possibility if you just break the Sanj Yasha, sell off the Sanj probably. But also, you know, Eye of Scotty is not too unreasonable. If they are predicting this game is going to go late, you want your inventory to be full of extremely powerful items, and Eye of Scotty's pretty much on the top of that list. It makes your Frost Arrows a little bit redundant, but hey, it gives you agility.
You don't have
it
to
gives
use
health.
mana for Frost Arrows? Awesome.
Yeah, but with 25 intelligence, you have so much mana. It is 25, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. 25 all attributes, plus 250 mana, you could spam Frost Arrows all day.
so Manta Style definitely not bad because you don't have to waste the BKB charge every time you just get silent, so probably gonna be that one. But she is going for Roshan now, just doing it solo for now. Definitely has the ability to do so. Might take a little bit of a longer time, but now Bloody Massacre will join her. Man, Queen of Pain pretty stacked with the item slots. Of course, Naga Siren network wise, soon to overtake Jay even on the Throw Ranger here. But it's still only one hero that is this farmed on 5Eva's side.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, if you have only one hero that's farmed, you want it to be a Naga Siren as opposed to anyone else. But still, Mineski, they are a little bit more balanced as far as their damage output is concerned, and that's more concerning for the 5Eva's supporting cast than anything else. Like Dazzle, his primary job is to throw to weave and try to grave up the Siren if she gets into trouble. But the odds of him surviving until the Naga Siren drops very low seems to be pretty low.
So far, nobody's really going for much of anything at the moment. Just, if you're 5Eva, of course, you don't even want to go for anything apart from just trying to split push. Of course, I have to say, ever since Centaur picked up the Blink Dagger, they've been running around as a gank squad with the Skyriff Mage quite a bit. It landed them a few kills, but after one point, Mineski really haven't been in a position where they could be picked off as... Yes, that's exactly what I was hoping for. Another pause.
Oh
Makes me so
boy.
happy. Makes me all fuzzy inside.
I thought I would be sleeping by now.
The one
Was
thing
not
that I do
prepared for
spot
this.
out now is that Jay has picked up the secondary ultimate orb. So, Skadi incoming on a draw. I actually
Yeah.
gonna just go try to check out if that's been built before. It probably
Yeah, it has been. Yeah. It gives you stats. It's like Sanjin Yasha on crack. And that's fine. But yeah, I don't even know. It's freaking late. Guys, I don't think their internet that's the problem. It's the fact that your beast is screwing everything up.
It might be a kind of a combination. I mean, I highly doubt year-based is still lasting if it started 47 minutes ago by now. 40 freaking 7 minutes.
Hey, you gotta get those items or whatever. Or something. I don't know. I'm too tired.
Okay, so Eye of Skadi has been bought in 19 games.
Out of...
It's 5.1%, so out of... Okay, let's say 20 is 5%, which means 400.
Yeah, that's not really that high, but... I mean, I guess it kind
It's
of
high
does...
enough, I think.
It
Usually it's
kind of
like...
makes a little bit more sense, because if you had a 4-range lineup, like a typical Drow Ranger lineup, then Eye of Skadi, I guess, gets a little bit worse, because it's not as heavy in the agility. And that's usually where we see Drow Ranger. So in this type of lineup, when she's more of an independent hero, Eye of Skadi does get a little bit better.
Oh, for 6.83 though, I guess 6.83 draw is just a little bit more popular. It's been in 12% of the draw games. So for about 100 games, it's been picked up in 11. Well, a little bit less than 100, but...
So breaking new ground here.
Getting there.
It is, I think, another fault of design with like everyone and their mom getting Eye of Skadi. It's a good item, but it shouldn't be an item that every single hero should be aiming for.
Yeah, at the moment, really most cores, it's like, what do I go for? Skadi gives you tank, gives you slows, all well and good. But Jay, he needs a little bit of extra gold, has the second ultimate orb, still needs the point booster plus the orb of venom though. As we do have a Timbersaw also having a point booster, so working towards an Aghanim Scepter now. Timbersaw hasn't had the greatest game in 1, 5 and 3 as the KDA, you can already spot it out from that one. Top lane though, this time around the stun will land onto Bloody Massacre and, well, he had the Aegis. I was so excited for a second for them ending this massive streak of Bloody Massacre, but not happening.
Yeah, it's not that easy to kill off this Queen of Pain, so they get it once, but they of course need to do it again, and so maybe next time the Queen of Pain will be a little bit faster on the draw with the BKB. It's hard to out BKB a Blinking Centaur, but it's not impossible, so Mineski, they are still just waiting and chilling, and the Aegis, yeah, is just used, so obviously they're not going to have that to push, which is a little bit unfortunate. However, they do have a Shaker stalking a Centaur. So this Centaur is going to be in for a pretty nasty surprise when he realizes that there's a Shaker right there and a Drow Ranger right there. He has a Force Staff, but that's not going to get him anywhere. Gustaf's going to come through, and Scarth Mage is already gone, but Centaur down, Mineski right in the front door of 5F. I think it's about time to try to go for a high ground push. Even though they don't have Aegis, they can't afford to wait around for another Roshan.
I know exactly what the plan was with the Force Staff. When the Sonic Wave comes, in the middle of it, there's a magical portal to the world of, I don't know, Narnia, where you can be safe. So he tried to Force Staff himself through that.
What the hell? Yeah, that's definitely it.
That's
it has
it.
to be that.
That's the only logical explanation, man.
It is a cone, so like you can get into like the narrow part of the cone if you're fast enough, but he was not fast enough. Anyway, Cuckoo's taking quite a bit of damage right now, has 9 Bloodstone charges, so he's going to be up pretty quickly, but BKB does get popped by a Sarah. Block not going to land. Timbersaw will take a fall, chasing forward for more. They're not going to find much of anyone. Actually, no, they do see Lion. They also catch RR on the retreat. Double Edge, going to pretty much instantly kill him off. Sarah still chasing forward, and Owa's going to run into a Naga Siren. Poor guy. He's going to be brought down as well. 3 kills for the 5 side, and Mineski, they gain a tier 3. Probably not worth it.
I'd say so. Also, just Mineski's BKB usage maybe not quite spot on there. Drow Ranger used her quite early on, which means can't really stay in the fight, so just TP it out while the rest were left to die. So 5 they're still gaining ground. I mean, Ysera getting tankier on the Bristleback, getting close to the 3.2k gold for the Reaver. I think that's going to be hard of the task. They want to go for another kill on Cuckoo as well by the looks of things, who just used the Blink Dagger, so may not be completely safe, but 5 just lack the vision to actually know where the Timbersaw exactly is. If they though manage to kill him once again, it's like down to 3 or 4 Bloodstone charges. Item just loses lots of its value.
Yeah, it's just a health item at that point, just a soul booster, and that's not exactly what you want from the item. He will have his Aghanim Scepter soon enough, but Mineski, they had a pretty good start to this game. However, at this point, this game pretty much belongs to the Siren. She's sitting at 4,700 gold, holding on to buyback, of course, but pretty sure it's going to be a health item next for her, something like a Heart of Tarask. And Mineski, they so far only taken a tier 3 in order to actually make any steps at ending this game. By this point, when the Naga Siren has this much, you want to be like a racks up at the very least if you're going to be ending the game in a reasonable time frame, and that's clearly not happening.
Right, look at the Naga now. Miracle, 5.5k gold. Last hits, 358. Next highest, well, 275. So Draw Ranger, I guess, been really PvEing things up as Owa. In a lot of trouble now. Does get rid of a couple of illusions, but now more created by the Manta style. Ensnared up as well, Owa. He tried to go for him as Miracle even started backing off himself, but with another Riptide, just easy kill on the Lion in the end. God, things are getting hard for 5, or not 5, but for Mineski rather. What items do they now need to just brute force things, or I guess Hex, if that is what Bloody Massacre is going for with that ultimate orb of his?
Yeah, that would definitely help, but I think the most important item they could pick up right now is Smoke. Just go out and kill the Naga Siren, because she's holding your entire team out from the base, or kill anyone, quite frankly. Like, if you get a pick off, that'll let you push in, but the last time Mineski have gotten a pick off, it was the Queen of Pain running into the Scarith Mage up here, and killing off a Scarith Mage, that's not really good enough, so they need to kill off someone, and so far they're not finding the chance because of Naga Siren's split push, so they have to like let a lane push in for a little while longer and try to get a kill. Otherwise, they're going to be always in the state where they're trying to race the Naga Siren in all 3 lanes, and that's not a race that you could pretty much ever win.
God, man, I don't even know what to think here anymore, because that pause just killed my brain. I mean, if I'm thinking of magical doorways inside the Sonic Wave, then, you know, things are bad already. But Jay is at least up to 3k gold, so maybe like a butterfly, something along those lines to come next. Throw, or not a throw, but Heart of the Rash finished the Miracle, 2.3k on top of that, runs around with a gem. Although they will catch, well, another Skyriff Mage, and like you just said, Skyriff Mage just isn't nearly enough, they need somebody else.
Well, the real Miracle is right around the corner. However, there's no way that Mineski actually know about this, and well, Miracle's running the right way to get out of there, so killing off the Scarith Mage is nice and everything. You get one more hero off the map, I suppose, but that's definitely not the hero that you want. Miracle is actually on the run, might be in a little bit of trouble if Lion gets the correct blink, and they're going to let the Naga Siren go. No sense in chasing after someone who's clearly faster than you are with the Yasha in the Manta style, plus that Roots of Travel, plus the naturally high movement speed of the Naga Siren, but they might actually run into her yet. It's going to be close. Yeah, yes, I think Miracle is in a collision course. He will lose 2 of his illusions. Spiked up. They know that this is the real one now. Fissure is there. Sonic Wave to follow. Miracle is probably going to take a fall here. Chakram will kill him off. No, Bloody Massacre will. Extending his streak just a little while longer. 12-0-4. Naga Siren's down for a minute. She does have buyback, though, so though it is a nice kill, they need to do that earlier, or they need to do that closer to the enemy base, or they need to do it again.
It's still quite a bit of gold that they gain from it, especially Bloody Massacre getting the killing blow means that he's like 200 gold away from finishing up the Hex now, if that is the item she's still gonna go for. So with the Hex, things will be quite considerably easier all of a sudden in just setting up kills or breaking high ground. And also if they can force the Naga buyback, it's gonna be huge. They are going for the tier 3 at the moment. Isera will just straight out run at Jay. Although they're gonna have Cuckoo blink in, maybe a little bit too deep. Sonic Wave blows up one. Cuckoo still in some trouble. Can he Timber Chain away to the low ground? Not while he's silenced though. Does get away. I didn't think it's gonna happen, but he's safe. Isera slowed down to oblivion. Even just Timbersaw comes back in for the kill, and they find a way to break Rex.
And that was because the Drow Ranger was just sitting in the back, firing away. Double BKBs guard pops. Hoof Stomp does nothing. However, Stampede will get the Centaur out to safety, and will also get the Bristleback out to safety. That being said, they've already lost their melee rack, so Mineski get what they came for pretty much. And as I was just saying, like, Drow Ranger being able to fire off that whole time was huge there. If that wasn't there, then no chance for Mineski to actually take that fight. Timbersaw tanking up is, you know, not super ideal since he needs that reactive armor, and his base armor right now is none too high, but he was taking so much attention away from the Drow Ranger, and that's exactly what you want to be doing if you're Mineski.
So suddenly with Ysera's buyback, did purchase up the recipe for the heart, but no Reaver for some time, and even the Song of Siren was used now by the end of it, trying to catch a couple of stragglers. They saw the line, I believe, but just weren't able to get close enough. Now the Hex is finished. AC on Drow Ranger, Aghanims on the Timber Saw. Those are all items that definitely will help out in just getting those pickoffs, going for those kills, and breaking now another lane of racks. Of course, range are still standing, but wouldn't expect that to be the case for too long now. And Roshan being up, carrying Cheese on top of the Aegis. Unless, of course, they lose the Aegis like last time, like a minute and a half after the kill of Roshan, with just Bloody Massacre getting picked up solo. But with those items now that they're gonna gain, is it just really brute force your way to high ground, or do you still like strategically try to look for a pickup first?
No, I think right now it's about go time. They forced out 2 buybacks in their previous push, plus they obviously got the melee rack. So now with the Aegis and Cheese advantage, maybe they have to worry about top lane, and maybe they have to tend to that in just a little while. But if they grab Boots of Travels on anyone, they'll be able to do that very easily, especially if that hero is Timbersaw. But they have such a huge advantage now with the Aegis Cheese, plus a fresh item, and as you said, the Sheep Stick. On the Queen of Pain, there's an Assault Cuirass on the Jar Ranger, so pushing is going to be that much easier. Mineski, they have pretty much everything that they could possibly want to go for another lane, except for the lane control. And that is just going to take a little bit more effort and more time to get going. But hey, they have had the Aegis for quite a long time. They can't afford to play it, for now, very slowly. But it should be them looking for some sort of push while they still have the Aegis.
Well, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier because Queen of Pain just picked up those Boots of Travels, which means that she can be pushing out top lane just to make sure that 5-Eva cannot rat things out and pressure the racks in return. Just push out top lane, then Boots of Travels force the team, although that's not what she's doing for now, because she's just joined the team now. She's going back, seeing that the creep wave arrives at the tier 3. Little bit weird of it that she doesn't play Bloody Massacre, just running around aimlessly. Jay also even joins them on the top side. Or maybe, do they really want to just push out this lane to go for the ranged racks?
Well, I mean, they see that 5-Eva have kind of staked out this top lane as the lane that they want to push. The problem is that this lane is pushed out so far towards the Dire base that by the time you actually do push this out and get to the range racks, your bottom lane and mid lane are going to be pushing very heavily towards your own base. The Dire's base is going to be pushed by 2 lanes, so you basically 2-for-1 yourself in lanes, and then it's like a really bad game of whack-a-mole that you're going to be losing. So Mineski, they probably don't benefit that much from going down that lane. Like, they will want to slide over to mid lane and take another tier 3 there, but if that's your goal, you might as well just go for mid lane.
Like, the weirdest thing is that you just got Boots of Travels. Why would you not solo push a lane, especially with the backup of the Aegis? There should be no way for you to die having that Aegis, to be honest. Or at least not to die twice, that is. But they are now going down mid lane, so they're listening to your advice. OVS stream snipe at the moment.
Hey man, gotta get that intel. It's so important. But yeah, they're gonna start off right now. The Chakrams will very easily clean out the creep waves. Miracle doing his best to rat it out, so Mineski only have this one creep wave to make a push happen, and they're going to go for it. Tower is going to take a fall, and once you lose the tower, then the Raxes are a little bit easier to take. Ysera going to get jumped, double Chakram, doing so much damage, and Ysera will get graved up, however, and will also probably survive because of it. Bloody Massacre, though, will kill off the Scarith Mage in the meantime. Chakram's flying every which way from Cuckoo, but he can't get the kills. In the meantime, Jay, he's firing at the Raxes. They also take down the range top in the process. That's 2 lanes completely down for Mineski, and now they're going to go for a third, wasting no time. Double Chakrams making a wall of metal that 5-Eva just simply can't pass. They're going to try to blink forward, but once again the BKB comes up from Jay, loses his marksmanship, but he's still dishing so much damage, will kill off the Centaur, and will also make his escape from this Bristleback. Miracle is going to come in, possibly a little bit too late, however, because Jay is now in a very nice corner, and he has Chakram help coming in. Ysera might get the Jar Ranger kill, but the Gust back Ysera will fall short. Sonic Wave will get the kill. Miracle also being chased down in the meantime. Radiance Burn doing what it can, but now Naga Siren has no mana, so she can't TP out of here. Another stun is awaiting her, and 4 heroes chasing. Lion dies in the process, but Miracle is dead nonetheless. She does have buyback, and she will use it, but they are staring down the barrel of Mega Creep soon enough. Mineski, they still have the Aegis.
I don't know what Lion was thinking. He didn't have mana, didn't have cooldowns on the spells, just literally ran to his own death. Although Bloody Massacre dropping low now, has the Aegis, Jay runs away, has the silence on him, but he's gonna be safe and thick. No, Poison Touch comes out, he might even die here. He is indeed, he just barely survived with the suicide of the Timbersaw beforehand, but another Sonic Wave. Skyrim Mage still alive, so does go down to the Soulburn. Now Cuckoo, he's gonna lose his life again. Does do quite a bit into the Naga Siren beforehand. Song of the Siren forced out.
Oh,
Chakram ending, man.
That could have been bad, but Jay is going to buy back. Mineski want to win the game right now, and if they don't, then they could be in a really bad position, or a potentially bad position, but it looks like they will. Range Vax is going to take only a couple shots to fall. Melee soon to fall as well. Centaur is going to charge right in with the Stampede. Miracle's there as well, but now Mega Creeps are up. And Naga Siren can come back from a lot, but this disadvantage with Mega Creeps, it's going to be really hard unless they kill off the Jar Ranger right now, but she's miles away.
Okay, so Mineski, they found a way to break high ground, got a couple of kills. Wasn't the cleanest initiation even once they went into the mid lane, because Sonic Wave, it was used to kill off the Bristleback, but the Shallow Grave was there. I do believe the Sonic Wave clipped on the Dazzle anyway, but Dazzle was so far away that there was no follow-up onto him, or... Well, yeah, it's him. Dazzle, it's definitely a him. So, they finally do it. Triple racks down. It's, like you said, 5-0, they probably won't be able to push things out. There's a tiny chance, but well, not now with Jibix getting caught, plus Poloson as well, hexed out. Even Urn plus a few attacks will bring him down. Fisher was used for that. Earthspike even catches his Serra. Do they have the follow-up necessary? Orchid is there for additional damage output, of course. Now another Hex is there as well. Chakrams through double one even. The BKB is there. His tanking will get to safety as Bloody Massacre forced away. Miracle, he's the one to get stunned now. Echo slammed as well. Double Chakrams once again. Song of the Siren, he is still hexed. Man, those hexes completely screwing over 5-Eva and GG called out.
Mineski looked potentially pretty bad for them as Naga Siren was getting really fat, but they rally and they make the push happen, and it was due in large part to the Aegis and Cheese, but also getting those few pickoffs. So ultimately it's Mineski to move on, and it's 5-Eva who are going to be dropping out.
Mineski, they've been playing pretty well in this tournament as it is. Have been having a couple of different stand-ins for different games, but still managing to just tie things together. Really solid drafts, solid execution as well of them. But we at least should have the next game, the Prime versus Signature Trust. I do believe they already started though, so we might just jump into game number 2 a little bit later on if they started. If not, of course, we're going to be able to bring game 1 as well. But in any case, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for actually sitting with us through the almost a half an hour pause, I think it was. So greatly appreciate it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the casting as well as the game itself when it was not paused. And if you did, check out us on HeflaTV for more content. It is HeflaTV on both Facebook and Twitter for the casters, at Coucher for me, at Mike Loris for my co-caster, and Mike can finally go and sleep, right?
Yeah, we're going to be tagging another caster. Hopefully it's all going to work out well there, but yeah, I'm not sure if you could tell, but I had to like tone it down a little bit for the second half after the pause because more people are sleeping around here now.
Yeah, so thanks, man, for being with me for this late into the evening for you. But having said that, guys, we are gonna bring you the Prime versus Signature Trust, whether it be game 1 or game 2. Some iteration of it at the very least will be on the stream here. So just see you hopefully within a couple of minutes, maybe a little bit later, but we're gonna keep you updated anyway.